Brings us to the most important part of marketing. It's called the 3 options of marketing to high school student athlete. And this is real simple. You have 3 options, really. Option number 1 is simple. Cross your hands, kneel by the bed, and pray that some college coach is going to find your son or daughter and offer them some money to come play at their school. That's option 1. Second option is market the high school student athlete yourself. It's what I did with Coy. I put together marketing packets myself. They cost me about $20 a piece. I put a highlight tape, copies of newspaper articles, but then I highlighted the newspaper articles so a coach didn't have to read a whole page just to read a small paragraph that was important to read about my son. And I put together those packets and I mailed them out to schools. That's option number 2. It's a lot of work, but it can be a labor of love. And it's something I started doing when he was in 10th grade. By April 1st of Coy's senior year, he already had 6 Division I offers. By April 1st of his junior year. The marketing had a lot to do with that. Now, if you don't have the time, both parents work, etc., you don't want to make any mistakes, there's one more option. Getting help from a professional. Now, there are only 2 types of companies you can get help from. One is called a recruiting service, which many of you have probably heard of, and college scouting services. Now, recruiting services have been around for a long time, and they pretty much have given their industry a black eye because they would take money from families that had an athlete that had a C or D average, had little or no athletic talent, but they promised they could help find money. Well, after enough years of that going south, there were people in that industry that said there has to be a way to do this right. And thus was born the college scouting services. The college scouting service did things totally different. Some of you here tonight wouldn't even qualify for a college scouting service to work with you or for you. Now, they have academic standards, much like the NCAA or higher. They have athletic standards. You have to at least be able to play at the Division III level, talent-wise. And you have to be a good kid with good character and so on. You see where this is going and why maybe this way worked and the other way didn't? They do everything by email. They contact college coaches. Now the college coaches contact the college scouting services and they say, hey, I need a wide receiver for my football team next year, and here's my criteria. They need to be at least 6'2", they need to weigh at least 180 pounds, and need to run the 40 in at least 4.5. So the college scouting service puts all that data in their big database and hits search, and up comes a list of 13 young men around the United States that meet the criteria. Unless the coach said, I only want them from the Southeast. Maybe that whittled that list down to 6. And then what happens? The college scouting service recruiting coordinator for football would email those 6 profiles to the college that requested that information. And some of them would even have streaming highlight videos in their profile. So now the college coach, when he gets the email of the 6 wide receivers that met his criteria, he emails them to the rest of his coaching staff, and they go over the 6 of them the next morning at their recruiting meeting. It has changed the face of college recruiting. That's how it works. Now, they are a lot more expensive than doing it yourself. Nice thing about doing it yourself is you can set a number, a budget, and when you're done, you're done. Okay? College scouting services, anywhere from $400 to $4,000. Okay? But hey, is that expensive? Sure it is, but so is the cost of a college education. Those are the 3 options of marketing. If you're considering option 3, getting help from a professional that is, then here's some important information you should know. When comparing recruiting services and college scouting services, I strongly recommend the latter. As I mentioned earlier, not all student athletes will qualify for them to work with you, but that will be an asset that college coaches will appreciate later. There is one college scouting service that I highly recommend to families when asked for my opinion. Their name is NCSA, National Collegiate Scouting Association, and they're based out of Chicago, Illinois. They care first about education and helping college coaches find the right student athletes.
Over the past 7 years, we've had many families use their service with tremendous success, not only getting scholarship and grant money, but also simply by finding the right school. They even provide a 100% money-back guarantee, which tells you how committed they are to doing things right. If you would like a free evaluation, please fill out and then submit the form below. And after evaluating your information, an NCSA scouting director will contact you directly by email and/or by phone within 72 hours with no obligation to you whatsoever. Their input alone will be invaluable to you and your family. Best of luck, whatever you decide.